Welcome back, y'all, to Whiplash TV. I appreciate y'all for coming back to check out another video here on the channel. Today I'm going to install this 4-inch straight pipe exhaust kit from MBRP on my 2006 Chevy Silverado LBZ Duramax. Y'all help me out by hitting that thumbs up and liking the video. Also consider subscribing, ringing that notifications bell, and drop me a comment somewhere along the way. Let's open up this box and let's take a look at what we got. So inside this kit, you're going to have a whole bunch of 4-inch straight pipe and different bends and everything you need to put it all the way from the downpipe all the way back to a tailpipe. There's also a bunch of hangers and clamps in here, so we got to get all this stuff out and lay it out and try to figure out in what order it goes on the truck. The first pipe is really easy to know which one it is because you cannot mistake this flange that is going to be held on by a V-band clamp. As far as I know, it's going to reuse the stock V-band clamp, so be kind to your stock V-band clamp because you'll have to reuse it. Alright, on here we do see that there is a little bit of a drawing as to how this system is going to go. We have our front pipe, which I showed you before, and then it says we have a 37-inch extension pipe, and then we're going to have a mid pipe that's going to have a little bit of a bend to it. Here is all the clamps and hangers and things that we're going to be using to put this system together with. It also has a whole bunch of hangers and different lengths and different shapes of hangers. I've got this system laid out to how I think it's going to go. I've got the piece that attaches to the downpipe. I've got the 37-inch straight right here. Then this right here goes by a cross member on the truck. Then you got your muffler delete over the axle and tailpipe. And I also got a exhaust tip that I'm going to put on that. Stay tuned for that. These stepped pieces here are what's going to be used for your catalytic converter. So then that way you can splice in your catalytic converter onto this kit. So if you've noticed on this truck, I have no tailpipe right now. There is no exhaust system up in here, and the muffler's been cut off. So let's go up underneath here and take a look. So the muffler would normally go back there, but it is gone. And it got cut right here at this hanger. That's where somebody years ago did it. It actually don't sound too bad, but the piping gets smaller further on up here. As we follow it on up, you can see there's also some different bends up here as we get to the downpipe. Now right up here is that V-band clamp that I told you all about. Yesterday I already soaked it down with WD-40 so that way the nut will spin off easy and the V-band clamp will release and let go of that pipe. So the first thing we got to do is loosen that up, which I've done already, and then now we'll bring down this stock pipe and pull it down and out of there. Once that's down and out, I should be able to remove this hanger and work this whole section of exhaust out. Here's our V-band, which I got off of there. I just got the nut all the way backed out to the end. Alright y'all, here's a comparison of what I took off the truck against some of this aftermarket system. As you can tell, that 4-inch is going to flow a whole lot better than this one here. It looks like it might be, I don't know, 3 or 3.5 inch, but it's crimped down in areas. So it's a lot smaller. Plus you have all these bends right here where it goes to the catalytic converter and then comes back off and everything. And right here is where it steps up to some bigger pipe. So again, to make this off-road system a on-road system, be sure that you take and put back in your catalytic converter with those step pieces right there. Today I'm just showing y'all how to get this straight pipe section installed, so I won't be showing y'all that today. Also, while you have your kit out here, test fit some of these pieces because they slip fit inside these others that have these slits cut. So it's much easier to test fit and make sure everything slides together and just test it all out before you get onto the truck. Sometimes these will get bent just a little bit and you'll have to bang on the back side of it. I just took a adjustable end wrench and just kind of tapped it on the back, and you're just opening it back up just enough to where this slips right on in. That'll save you a little time while you're up underneath the truck. All right, let's take this piece here and start putting it on the truck. All right, y'all, back underneath the truck, I've got the 4-inch piece of exhaust pipe onto the factory down pipe. I've already put the factory V-band clamp back up on here, and I'm slowly tightening it down with my ratchet until I can still move this pipe, but it's not going to be so loose so that when I put more pipe on it this direction, it's not going to make it pop out of that V-band clamp. The other thing I'm going to do is this transmission cooler line is pretty close to this pipe, and I don't know how far away this pipe is going to rest from this. So I'm going to use a little bit of sticky back heat shield, and I'm going to wipe off this line, and then I'm going to stick that onto this to help keep temperatures from the exhaust affecting the transmission. All right, so the sticky back heat shield comes in a roll. So I just buy a small roll of it and I just cut off pieces and use it as I need to for projects like this. And I took a little bit of rubbing alcohol and I kind of cleaned off that line just a little bit. So now I'm gonna put my sticky back heat shield up here, and I'm gonna peel off the backing and I'm gonna stick it right on this line. All right, here's the finished product. I've got it wrapped all the way from up here and down around this elbow just a little bit. And I cut it enough to where I could stick it back to itself, just in case if this line ever gets like oily or anything. I think it'll help it just adhere to not only the line, but also stick to itself. So now we at least have a barrier to keep this line from getting hot from this exhaust. Alright, so now it's time to put on the next piece. Alright, so I wanted to show y'all one thing. On some of these, you'll have these hangers, and the way that it shows for it to go through is like this. I took off the nut and the washer, and then this bolt is supposed to go through this hole right like that. And then your washer and your nut will go back over the top of it. So now you have a clamp with a hanger on it, so this hanger can go through the factory rubber exhaust hanger, and then this will hold it tight around the exhaust. Let's go put it on the truck. Alright y'all, so here is where I'm at now. I've got that initial pipe in, I've got the clamp and the hanger set up. When you're trying to get the clamp around that expanded section of pipe, and then also get that hanger in there and squeeze it all down enough to start your nut, it's just a pain in the butt, but it is able to be gotten. Then we've got our 37-inch section of pipe, just like the instruction shows. And then we've got the next pipe that I laid out for y'all, and I went ahead and put this hanger here and got it inside the clamp. And this one moves on this piece of pipe, so it does not go on one of the lap joints. It just simply holds onto the pipe wherever you rotate it to and are going to hold it at. Then after that, I've got my next muffler delete pipe, and then my up and over the axle, and I've been working on this part too. And when I started messing with this big piece here for the muffler delete, it starts getting pretty tight. So I highly suggest when you're putting these pieces of pipe together, so make sure that these pipes are going all the way into the beveled section of the next pipe. This here is easily 3 inches long, and if you don't get it all the way up and in there, it starts adding up over each piece and then starts to be looking like it's too long. So make sure as you're putting it together that you get them all the way up into each other. So next up, I'm gonna get this hanger and band clamp tight and start working my way back. And this right here is going to be a big determining factor how it turns for where and how this back here lands, where it goes up and over the axle. Alright, I've got everything coming along pretty good now. I got this pipe slid all the way into the first one. I tightened up this nut just a little bit for this hanger back here, but again left it loose so I can position this how I need to. Then I've got a band clamp here, and this is the last thing that I'm running into issues with. I've got this long exhaust hanger right here, but it's not lining up with this pipe. So my joint is right here where it goes up and over the axle, and this wants to be over here. So I might have to move this band clamp over to here just so that I have this holding where it needs to hold at, and then put an exhaust clamp here. But this is a band clamp joint, and I'm all out of band clamps because you have to use one back there as well. So I'm not sure why this isn't lining up when I've got all the pipes slid into each other. I'm a good, I don't know, 5 to 6 inches off. And even if I wanted to rotate this to where the rubber was more, you know, horizontal, which isn't ideal, I'm still a little short. So far, this is the only issue that I've really had with the kit, is this hanger right here. And then let's go look out back at how we're sitting. Here's where the pipe is also inside a hanger here, which works out really good. That hanger there is the only one on the whole kit that's welded. I guess that they do that so that there's no way to really mess up too badly where your pipe is coming out at. This pipe is still loose a little bit. I can move it, you know, up and down and wiggle it around to where I want it at. So I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do about that hanger, and then I'll get back with y'all. And then I'll have to cut off some of this exhaust tip because I have a 4-inch to 6-inch exhaust tip that's going to go right back here. That should look real nice. Alright y'all, so everything's coming along really nice. I kind of held my tailpipe right where I'm going to have it at and tightened up that band clamp up in there. You always want to tighten those band clamps before you tighten this style of exhaust clamp, because this style of exhaust clamp will actually put a crimp into the exhaust pipe, which makes it even harder for it to come apart or to rotate. So I have everything tightened up, and I'll show you that clamp right quick with that hanger. So here's what I did with that hanger that I was having a hard time with. I took this clamp, slid it off of this joint to back here onto this section of pipe to where then it would line up with this somewhat decent. So that's how it came out. And then I'll use this clamp for this connection. I've already tightened up this connection. I've tightened up this hanger right here. Made sure that I have plenty of room. I can put my whole hand in between here and the cross member of the truck. So the next thing to be done is I'm going to do this tailpipe and cut it off for this 6-inch tip. But let me show y'all the downpipe up front real quick. So here is the downpipe. Here's that transmission line that I put the heat wrap on. Once I got that V-band tight and kind of positioned this in a different kind of way, I was able to get it away from here. So I can put my finger right in here. But I'm still happy that I put heat wrap on this one right here. You definitely don't want added heat to your transmission fluid, obviously. So I'm really happy that I did that anyways. But I can get my hand, you know, somewhat in between here, so I do have a gap. But I just wanted to show y'all how that ended up. So next up, I'm gonna figure up right where I want my exhaust tip to sit at. I think I'm gonna have it sit kind of in this area. So next I'm gonna figure out where this straight section of pipe right here is gonna land, and I'm gonna make a mark right back here where I'm gonna cut it. So I'm gonna cut about that much off of this for my exhaust tip. Alright, so that's how that tip looks like it's going to sit. I'll finish tightening up those other clamps, but I think that's looking good. Y'all let me know something. Are y'all into black exhaust tips like this one here? Or are you part of the chrome exhaust tip gang when it comes to diesels? Or does it vary for you depending on if it's a white truck like this LLY or black on black with this LBZ? Y'all let me know down in the comments what you think. So y'all, overall, I'm super happy with how this MBRP system turned out. That thing sounds amazing. That turbo whistle sounds so cool. So overall, everything went together well, other than that one exhaust hanger that didn't line up good, which I showed y'all. I had extra stuff in the kit, so I was able to improvise and come up with a fix for it. So not really a huge deal, but that was the only knock on the system. I appreciate y'all for checking out this video. Don't forget to leave that thumbs up before you get on out of here. And also, don't forget to hit subscribe and make sure you have that notifications bell rung so that you get notified every time that I post a new video. I'll catch y'all on the next video.